Several puppies were rescued after an apartment fire overnight in Phoenix. This happened at an apartment complex near 7th Avenue and Broadway Road. The Phoenix Fire Department says they were able to quickly get control of the flames. Once they entered the unit, they found a litter of puppies. One of them was suffering from some smoke inhalation. Phoenix Fire has not given us an update on the condition of that puppy. We're told all of the people inside the unit were able to get out safely and no one was hurt.